Now, the UK faces a second day of disruption and delay after talks between the Rail Network Union and railway employers broke down. Now, the strike is set to have a similar impact as Tuesday's, with just 20% of the services running. Over 40,000 rail staff, they're taking action over pay, layoffs, changes to the working practices, and the biggest rail strikes in decades. The most recent negotiations were a bust after the RMT accused Transport Secretary Grant Shapps of wrecking negotiations by refusing to allow the Network Railway to withdraw redundancy threats. Now, the RMC is calling for a pay rise of at least 7% to offset the cost of living crisis as inflation hits 9.1% and is expected to further increase to 11% in the autumn. Employers have offered a maximum of 3% on condition that the union accepts new working practices. The Johnson government has reacted by urging the country to stay the course and resist high pay rises, since that could further fuel inflation. Meanwhile, rail workers in Liverpool, they've been given a 7.1% pay rise in a deal which will further put pressure on train companies in the rest of UK. The Transport Salaried Staffs Association accepted the pay offer from Merseyrail on Wednesday, even as separate talks between RMT and rail bosses went nowhere. In London, the British government has announced plans to change the law to enable employers to use temporary agency staff to cover staffing gaps during strikes. Ministers say the measure, which needs Parliament's approval, would limit the impact of future strikes. But the measure has come under fire, with opposition and unions saying that it would undermine the strike itself. As things stand as of now, a deal to avert a third strike scheduled for Saturday, that is looking unlikely. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.